everyone, welcome to Millennium Computers online 5-minute tutorial series. Today's course is going to be an administration course, and so in other words, you need to have access as an administrator or have access to the administration tab within the application that you're working in. So as far as the admin features go, we get a ton of questions asking us to maybe change things or change labels or change the sequence of different parts of the FAST applications. And a lot of this, as I've shown you, is customizable at the institution level. You have a ton of power in terms of how your end users are going to be able to see and use certain baseline features within FAST. So one of those examples is what I would call tabs administration. One of the things you've noticed in the more recent versions of FAST, and this relates to any application within FAST, is the new tab strip on the left-hand side of the page. Now, what if you wanted to make changes to that tab strip? You do have the flexibility to do that. Let me show you how to do that as an administrator. I'm working today within finance reporting, but this particular feature is identical from one application to the next, or it can also be managed at the site admin level. And then at site admin, FAST is just going to ask you which application you'd like to select. So under administration, we're going to choose the layout option. And layout is basically anything that has to do with how things are displayed or what text is used and those sorts of things. So I do encourage you to explore some of these additional features and certainly some of the other videos that deal with different layout configuration. What we're going to focus on today is home tabs. So we're going to select home tabs from the layout menu under administration. Now this is just asking me to confirm the application. If I happen to be an administrator in more than one application, I would be able to make that selection from this dropdown, but because I'm working in finance, it's pre-populated that in the application menu. So just go ahead and click Execute Report. Now here's what we're looking at. It's pretty much like a standard data entry page, but a little bit modified. So I can't add extra lines here, right? Because there's no plus new button. But what I can do is make edits. Let me just walk you through this page and show you how it relates to your tab strip. On the Home Tabs menu within Finance, what I'm actually given the opportunity to do here is modify the display of this particular tab strip within FAST Finance Reporting. So here are the tab names, and anytime you see text or cells that are grayed out, it means they're read-only, and that's going to be evident when you hover over any of these fields as well. Let me show you what you can modify. I have the ability to modify the sort order if you want to change the order in which these tabs display. So let's say, for example, I want my Pin Reports tab to be the first tab on top of this menu right under my homepage button. You certainly can do that. You can move that Pin Reports tab up, and all you need to do, let me just compress this, is change the Pin Reports sort order to something that is between, in this case, number 1 and number 10. So I would probably make that number 5. Now, if I navigate off that cell, you'll notice it's now highlighted in yellow, and that just reminds me on any data entry page, this is saying now I have unsaved changes. I need to click that save button before I leave this page. The other thing we can do here is we can turn on or off any of these tabs by default. So maybe I don't want to see one of these tabs for whatever reason. The text refers to application info. The other ones are pretty self-explanatory. So dashboard, pin reports, training videos, and report scheduler. If there are any of these tabs that you're not yet using widespread at your institution, you could turn them off, but here's the key. If I turn off scheduler, for instance, this is turning it off for everyone on a global level. So my suggestion is pretty much always keep that turned on wherever possible. You want to give your staff as much flexibility as possible in terms of how they move about the application. Now, the other thing you can do is you can change institutionally what becomes your default landing page or landing tab within the application. Now, within finance, this is always designated as the application info tab, but you can change that as well. If I want my dashboard or pin reports tab or even training videos to become my default, I can just click default under training videos. And this is now going to be where my end users will land by default. Now, keep in mind, end users can always override that. If I choose as an end user one of these individual save icons, I'm going to overwrite what is the institutional default. All you're doing here is giving your staff some base structure. So let me save these changes and show you what we've actually done here. So what I'm going to do is actually refresh the page so that I can see the changes that I have made. So let's go back to the home button. And then let's go back into finance reporting. Okay, so you can see pretty clearly now my default, so where FAST brought me to immediately, was my training videos tab, and it's not selected by the save icons. It's just now become my institutional default. You'll also notice my pin reports tab is on the top of this page. So I have made global changes here that all end users are going to be impacted by as soon as they log in now to Fast Finance. So keep in mind, this can be used across every application, and it can be managed application by application or at the site admin level if you happen to have global admin access to Fast at your institution. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you again next time.